Alright, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh, by Hashem, 𝐬𝐻, by Hashem, 𝐻𝐫. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that tell me this truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is 𝐬𝐻. And this lesson basically is going to be we're not going to trust not our bow, nor horses, no type of weapons, no physical or tangible things on this earth to save us from these said perils that's coming. Jacob's trouble with all these prophecies simultaneously happening around the world, and it's intensifying. We see the hour of temptation approaching. We see Jacob's troubles approaching, right? And people are going to be in panic mode and chaos, when the prophets are going to be at ease. Right? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time. And look at our forefathers. Daniel in the lion's dens. You know what I mean? The three holy children in the furnace, right? So on and so forth. And the Lord delivered them out of it. In a miraculous fashion. You see, and what more now? And this was inspired also by a dream I had and a lesson that the elder bro from GMS, the main camp, 𝐬𝐤𝐥𝐿, that he just did, right? What's our plan of action, I believe it was called. But nevertheless, man, we're gonna have that shield of faith, the armor, putting on the armor of the Lord, all right, to withstand the wiles of the devil, because Satan, the elites, these elites, they're gonna come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. All right, so with that, I'm gonna get the book of Psalms, chapter 44, verse 6. It says, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me." So you got a lot of men that put their trust, in their guns and things of that nature, right? Which that's carnal. That just shows you the lack of faith that they have towards the Lord, because when your back's against the wall, that's when the Lord will come with divine or spiritual intervention. All right, like it tells you in Isaiah 59:9, when the flood shall come upon me, then the Lord will lift up that standard, meaning what? A way to escape. All right, roughly paraphrasing. So it says, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me." All right, now you're gonna have people that trust in their savings, pantries, food, their bunkers, but none of that's gonna preserve you from your judgment. It says, "But thou hast saved us from our enemies." Right? When you read about, our forefathers, when they, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem 𝐻𝐫, delivered them from their enemies. They trusted in him. Read the Maccabees. Read, right? Read, and at certain times, certain time period in the ancient times, they went to war, right? For particular reasons, for that season, for that time. But now we're in a time where, we're going to have to completely trust in the Lord, right? While the rest of this world trusted in the shadow of Egypt. It says, "But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us." Right? So the Lord did it back then. You don't think he's going to do it now? Scriptures say what? The Lord changed not. And a beautiful point the brother had made when I was watching his video, he said, our forefathers called upon the Lord and he heard them, right? And so he's going to hear us. And we are forefathers coming back. That's heavy, right? It says, "In God we boast all the day long, and praise thy name forever, Selah. But thou hast cast off and put us, Salakia, put us to shame, and goest not forth with our armies." All right, so that's the point on that. So the Lord delivered us, man. We're not going to trust in, the things here. Hey, scriptures speak about us being as pilgrims on the earth, And a pilgrim is what? A wanderer, a traveler. And when all hell breaks loose, when people get that micro C-hip, to be part of the society, the elect, the men of the Lord that put their faith in the Lord, we're going to be under the grid, making moves, right? Wherever the Lord may guide us, he may hide us, however, you see, right? So that's our plan, to trust in the Creator, rather than the creations, you know. Let's get another precept real quick in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3. And hey, man, part of the dream I had, it was a multitude that came against me. Pretty much niggas. They outnumbered me. They came in like maybe 4 black SUVs, just straight air in the house. I was in the house, a couple people. There was a brother there airing it out. And, when they had came in the house, I just constantly hit the gun out their hand and just, I don't know, it just happened so quick, just pretty much dropped them, you know what I mean, several times. And then, it was crazy, man, I know it was spiritual. So yeah, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength coming from heaven. And we're going to have many people come against the men of the Lord, accusing them for being, terrorists or whatever the narrative may be presented to the masses from the news and Esau that may want to persecute us. And hey, so be it. Peter, Paul was put in prisons, and they sent up prayers, they called upon the Lord, and hey, the Lord sent angels, caused prayers to cause earthquakes, to open the gates, the bars, release the shackles, right? You know what I mean? Daniel, the Lord sent the angel to shut the mouths of hungry lions. So, come on, man. So imagine now, the last hurrah, so to speak, right? The greatest salvation is going to be the greatest judgment, but with that equals the greatest salvation. So far beyond that which they look for, talking about these people in the world. They're not thinking about that. So when they see it, they just going to be like, oh, we fucked up. These are the men. Oh, man, So, let me read that again. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of a host. It ain't coming from your guns, no, the military, none of that. But strength coming from heaven. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us and our wives and children and to spoil us, right? So, you had, men like Mattathias, fighting for the laws, fighting for, we fighting for the Lord, for the name of the Lord, through faith, fighting for the laws, for what we believe and who we are against these heathens. Primarily Esau, Edom, which will come down with great wrath with their military, with their tanks and their super soldiers or whatever. So if they're going to come that strong, it just shows how scared they are, for real. Because they know our power, man. Just look at the lightning. Just look at the earthquake. Look, just look at volcanic eruptions. You know what I mean? That's the power we're dealing with. You see? It says, but we fight for our lives and our laws. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them. So Esau, man, he's going to try to come down with fear tactics, guillotines, put you in prison, whatever. But when our backs is against the wall, that's when the Lord is going to come. You know what I mean? Hey, strive for the truth unto death, as the scriptures say, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Alright, I'm going to read that again. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them. Exactly, because what? Daniel 2:44, the stone that is cut off, is going to destroy the toes. It's going to destroy, which refers to as these kingdoms. The whore that sitteth on the beast, NATO, whatever, their military and their whatever, man. Alright, the Lord's going to overthrow them, like he overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, Pharaoh in Egypt, Greece, Rome, Syria, Nineveh, all them captivities that our people is in. He preserved the remnant, right? And this time it's going to be what? The 144,000, starting with the men, and then, the women and children, the helpers, whatever, right? But he's going to preserve them that put their faith in him. You see? Straight up. As a matter of fact, let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 31. Verse 1. And we're going to read down to the 5th verse, right? It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right? Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, meaning this government, these elites, the arm, of Egypt. Because we're in spiritual Egypt now, right? Salakia. Alright, so it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Go down to Egypt for help. So when shit hits the fan, all hell breaks loose, people can't eat, famine, people got plagues, they can't go to the hospitals, they can't pay rent, people are homeless, due to evictions, right? The Egyptians against the Egyptians, meaning, civilians, people going against each other for the lack of bread, for the lack of, victual, substance, commodities. They're going to go to these elites for help. Oh, we're going to go into these shelters, these camps, because they provide shelter and food rather than, they're going to get the sea hip to be part of society again. Rather than being a pilgrim, trusting in the Lord. The Lord will provide. There's nothing impossible with the Lord, man. Alright? The Lord made water come out of a rock. The Lord made a raven deliver food to Elijah in the wilderness. So everything, all the animals is in obedience under Yahweh 𝐬𝐤𝐥𝐿. Right? What's the fear? Really? When you really know your power that you serve, what is there really to fear? He's the Father of all spirits. He names the stars. He knows the numbers of your head. He knows what you're going to... Scripture say what? He declared the end from the beginning. So he knew the end before the beginning started. Are you serious? Come on, man. That's the Ancient of Days. Like, it's all... Everything is already laid out. We just got to go through it. Have faith, man. The shield of faith. It says, and trust, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many. Right? People going to see, all the armies, they coming. We're going to go to them. I got to feed my children. Man, the hell with that. And horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So they're not trusting in the Lord. They're not, But that's why they're going to get their judgment when Yahshua come back. That's why, whether you get the sea hip, you still might be put to death right there. And that's going to be even worse. Because in the kingdom, when you come back, you're going to be forever in shame if you're an Israelite. Not forever, but for a period of time, however the Lord sees fit. But it says, but, Salakia, verse 2. Salakia, I'm a little excited. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, meaning these elites, the armies, that will come against us, they're just men, they're going to die soon. They're going to get their judgment soon, right? But before that though, Jacob's trouble's going to rise, martial law, things of that nature, and not God, and their horses, flesh and not spirit, right? Because our armies is what? The angels. Scriptures say what? In Psalms 34:7, the angels encampeth around them that fear the Lord. See? It says, when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. So, no hand joining hand. They both going to be punished. There's the elites, the wicked, and them that join with them. You know what I'm saying? So, you're going to suffer. You'd rather suffer for righteousness, through the spirit and not in carnality, because our weapons of warfare are not carnal. All right? That's when the Lord is going to bless his men with spiritual powers. And Lord willing, I'm going to do a lesson on that. It says, for thus hath the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts, meaning the Lord of armies, come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. All right, last verse. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem, talking about the people. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. So as birds flying, right, the angels, they're going to come in formation as birds to deliver the elect, man. From Jacob's troubles, from, right before that second death that shall come, do away of World War III with these thermonuclear missiles that's going to be shot down in Babylon the Great. Because this is where the great deliverance is going to come from. Babylon the Great, America. See? Real quick, let's get 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 16. Real quick, straight to the point. It says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Alright? Straight up. So that's that. Hey, it says what it says. Because we got the angels. There's an innumerable amount of angels. All around. Scriptures say the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. What's the eyes of the Lord? The angels, man. They everywhere, beholding the good and evil. Following the orders of the Lord. So real quick, let's get Wisdom of Solomon. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, one of my favorite chapters. Chapter 3. We're going to start at 1 on down to verse 10. Alright. Let's get it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse number 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God, and there shall no torment touch them. Yeah, that's right. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken from misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace, And hey, man, and we know what's coming. That's why when the scriptures say the Lord shall come like a thief in the night, it's going to be to those that's not watching. That's why they're going to be in panic. But we warning you. The prophets are seers. They seeing what's coming before it happens. That's what it means to prophesy. To prophesy, meaning to say before it happens. So when it does happen, we already knew it was coming. We prepared our minds, our spirit, you know, and the Lord's gonna put the spirit in the men to be able to withstand these things that's coming, you know. But though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, right? Like that song from Nas, "We Ain't Never Gonna Die," featuring Lil Wayne. That's my shit. And I urge brothers to go listen to that, right? It's a pretty good song. It put certain songs put the spirit in you to exhort you. Take the meat from the bones, right? But it says, "For though they be punished in the sight of men," all of our forefathers punished in the sight of men. Yahweh was punished in the sight of men, and what? Yahweh gave him more power, man. And when he comes back, he's coming back full glory. So he went through it, we're gonna go through it. He suffered in the flesh, he laid his life down. Hey. So it says, "And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded." So, hey, we know the reward is coming, man. Immortality. Joining heirs with Yahweh Shah, receiving that crown of life. Being beamed up in the chariots when the angels come. When we see fire and all hell, cannibalism and being in prison and whatever, man, however the situation may play out. Keep the faith, keep these scriptures in your mind, keep the prayer first and foremost. Pray without ceasing and believe it. Right? For God proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. So we're being tried through these trials and tribulations. It makes us stronger. Like putting gold in the furnace. When you go through that fire, it don't feel good, but you grow from it. You learn from it. You experience it. So when you go through it again, you know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like Jesus said, you brush it off your shoulders. Like, all right, man, you know what? Whatever, man. Been there, done that. It says, "They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever." So the Lord's going to have us, reign and have dominion. That's what we want. Right? Verse 9, "They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord." And that's what these people are doing now. That's what these people are doing now. And when all hell breaks loose, like the scriptures say, "Then shall they know that a prophet was among them." So yeah, we're going to suffer. Like Moses said, "I'd rather suffer with the people of the Lord than to enjoy sin for a season," roughly paraphrasing. So, hey man, I'll give one more scripture since I quoted it earlier in 2 Corinthians. In the book of 2 Corinthians 10:4, it says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds." Alright? So, hey, and when this word is declared, it's bringing down strongholds. His word went out to the gates of the nobles. These elites are scared, man. Scripture say how they're weary in their counsel, I believe, roughly paraphrasing, or in their sorcery or whatever. They're getting weary. Trying to hide this, trying to cover up that. They're getting sloppy. Their tongue is falling upon themselves. They're getting the armies ready. All for what? Because the Lord ain't going to save us with carnal weapons or anything like that. It's going to be through spiritual powers, man. In a miraculous fashion. So, I just wanted to bring this out. Lord willing, this was edifying and exhorting through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. And yeah, man, just keep that in mind. Whatever you lacking in praying, pray on it. Alright, so with that, until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.